Good afternoon. Today's date is December 19, 2017, and the time is now 14:26 hours. My name is Sergeant Yvonne Valdez, and I'm assigned to the Office of Internal Affairs. I am here at the Office of Internal Affairs to take a sworn and recorded statement from Sergeant Vasquez, who is a witness regarding Internal Affairs case ADM 17014. This statement is a reference to an allegation of misconduct which occurred on November 18, 2017 at approximately 0330 hours at the incident location of 29 Northeast 11th Street, which is also known as 11 Miami. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name.
My name is Sergeant Matthew Vasquez, ID number 28398.
And your current assignment?
I'm currently assigned as a supervisor for Special Victims Unit, CIS.
Oh, okay. Are you aware that this statement is being recorded as part of the investigation?
Yes, I am.
Are you recording the statement with any of your own personal devices?
No.
Oh, okay. Do you have independent recollection of the morning of November 18, 2017?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it that occurred?
While we were working the off-duty for the Miami Entertainment District Association, a security guard had brought out the officer through the back door, which I believe faces the front of club space, which should be on like 11 Terrace. They approached us, and we didn't know at the time. He said that he had somebody in there, that they're removing him. When they walked up a little bit closer to us, because we were kind of mid-block on 11 Terrace, we asked him what had happened, and he was holding, I believe, the officer's cell phone and like a bag with an unknown substance, which we later realized it was suspected cocaine powder. So as we approached, he said, "Hey, we're removing this guy," and the officer had stated, because I didn't know who he was, that no, it's okay, it's QRU, I'm with them. So he verbally ID'd himself as MPD. After that, once we realized what had happened, we secured him inside a vehicle, and basically I made the notification to the field duty lieutenant to make the notifications for the call out. And obviously we took custody of the evidence and stuff and his property.
Okay. And what security guard is it that contacted you?
I have no idea who he is.
Okay.
One of the internal security guys brought him out.
Okay. And what did this gentleman look like?
I want to say he might have been a tall black male, maybe Haitian male, skinny.
Okay.
And then the head of security came out also.
And do you know who that is?
Yeah, Adam.
Okay. And at that time, did they have the officer with them?
Yes.
Okay. So they all exited together?
No, the security guard came out with the officer first.
Okay.
And then subsequently, I'm not sure of the time delay, Adam came out. I guess he radioed him through their internal mic to have him come out once they found out that he was a cop.
Okay, but you're talking about inside the club? Or?
No, I'm talking outside.
Okay, so
right.
Did you observe them come out of the club?
No.
No.
I only observed them come out from around the corner, because where we stay, the back door faces 11th. So we didn't see them until they do a little loop and come around the corner.
Okay, so initially, a tall black male security guard is the one that
I believe so, yeah.
That makes contact with, and you said, who was with you? You said we. Who's we? Or us? You said you were with other people.
Right, I was with the other officers that were working the off-duty.
Okay, who are those other officers?
It was Officer Cal Sadia, Officer Abad Jr., and I believe it was Officer Cal was there.
Okay. And so the security guard comes out, then the other security director, Adam, and the officer come.
No, they came out first, just them two. The officer and the security guard.
I'm sorry. And then the director's the one that came after.
A little bit after, yeah, a couple minutes.
About a couple minutes after?
Give or take, yeah.
Okay. And the one who you had the conversation is the person that you had the conversation with is the security guard?
Correct.
Okay. And what exactly is it that he told you?
He said, "Hey, I have this guy," because we didn't know who he was. So normally when they come to us with somebody, we know they're going to get removed, so we give them like a verbal trespass. So when he brought him out, he was standing out there with him. I didn't recognize him, but apparently I think one of the other officers knew who he was.
Okay.
So they said, hey, what are you doing, or what's going on? And the guy goes, don't worry about it. Or he said something to the security guard, no, it's okay, I'm curing you, I'm with them, I'm MPD.
Oh, so he says that in front of you.
Right, he verbally identifies himself.
Okay, and what else is said at that point?
After that, we were kind of stunned, actually. I didn't really say too much until we verified, and then we put him inside the car.
And what is it that the security guard had told you that happened?
That he was inside the club, basically bumping cocaine. They caught him inside the club using cocaine.
Okay. Did he say who specifically stopped him or who caught him?
I don't remember from viewing it on the camera, but it could have been him or another security guy.
No, I'm saying when he approached you, did he say who, like what was his exact conversation with you regarding what happened inside the club? Or why?
It was very short. Basically, they observed him doing cocaine. Mm-hmm. They removed him and brought him to us.
Okay. And you said somebody had his cell phone and an unknown substance. Who was that had it?
I want to say, I don't know if it was, I can't recall who took custody. It might have been Cal or maybe Abad Jr. I'm not sure. Okay, I don't remember who it was.
And who was it that had it in their possession prior to them?
The security guard.
The security guard, not Adam? Or was it Adam? Which security guard better said was it that had it?
I believe it was the first one. He's the one that turned it over.
Okay. And did you see where he produced it? Did he?
No, he had it on him. He was holding it with the phone, I believe.
Okay. In his hand?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember which hand he had in it?
Maybe the right hand, I'm not sure.
If you're not sure, that's fine.
I can't remember.
It's just only if you remember.
Right.
And did you at any point take custody of the substance or his cell phone or anything?
Yes, I checked it out.
You handled it?
Yes.
Okay, and what was the substance? What did it appear to be?
It appeared to be suspected powder cocaine, is what it looked like to me.
Okay, and was it packaged?
Yes, it was in a clear plastic baggie.
Okay. And was there anything else inside the baggie or anything else along with that other than his cell phone?
He had some miscellaneous, he had some keys, and then when we searched him and put him inside the car, he actually didn't have his police ID with him. If I recall, he had I can't remember if he had a wallet with no badge in it, and then he had when the recruits get hired, they give him that little training ID. That's what he was carrying.
Okay. And what did the officer look like?
A light Hispanic male, 5'9" to 5'10", darkish brown, black hair. He looked like a young kid. I didn't even know who he was.
Okay. And what was his demeanor like?
He was calm, shockingly. He didn't really say too much. I think I only asked him a couple questions as far as where do you work, who's your supervisor, and I think what was his name, and that's it. But he was pretty mellow.
Okay. And did you observe anything on his face or anything?
No, not that I recall of. He might have had a little bit when he first came out. I remember they said something to him, but it looked like the way the light was hitting, I don't know if he had, because they had him under a street light when they brought him out. So I don't know if there was any residue or an unknown substance on his lower lip, by his nose.
Did you see it?
It looked like it, yeah, but I don't know for sure what it was.
Okay, and did you relay that information to anyone?
Yeah, I think I told your IA guy when he came out.
Okay. And did you get close enough to him to confirm if it was in fact any residue or anything, or?
No, when they brought him in, I was standing a little bit away, and they just took him and put him in the car, because I was dealing with the security people to try to get the story and information, but I didn't want him to freak out or run or do anything, so I told the other guy secure him, and then we'll figure everything else out after that, just in case he takes off.
Okay. And you said that you told a lieutenant. Who was it that you advised?
Cooper. Lieutenant Cooper.
Okay. And was he with anybody else? Other than the security guards?
The lieutenant?
No, the officer. Did anybody else come afterwards, or was there any other?
No, I had asked if was he here alone, and they said there was another person that was with him, that they was standing around him inside the club, but when they asked him, they said something where they just kind of met. He was like a tourist or something, so they let him roll out. They let him leave.
Okay.
So
and that's what the security guards told you that who said to him? Who said to
I
them?
think it was the guy that brought him out, and it might have been also Adam too. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So
the evidence was handed to, you said, Cal or Abad?
Correct.
Okay. And did you see them take custody of it when they took
Yeah, they took custody of it, and they put it in a evidence bag and secured it inside the vehicle.
Okay. Where inside the vehicle?
The front seat.
The front seat? Okay.
Yeah.
And do you remember whose vehicle it was secured in?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. And Officer Santos, he was placed in a vehicle. Do you remember whose vehicle it was?
No, I don't remember which one.
Okay. And then what happened?
After that, we just made the notifications.
Okay. And obviously everybody responded and everything.
Correct.
And until when were you part of this incident?
I believe once I was pretty much almost done. Once your IA guys came out, once we went in and took a look at the video. After that, they called another supervisor to come out and watch him, and then they had another unit go and take him to Mount Sinai. But your guys handled that. Okay. I was just still on scene.
Okay. And then did you stay on the scene, or you left once?
No, I stayed because we don't leave until 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, till 07 in the morning.
Okay. And when you said that we watched the video, who else was with you when you guys watched the video?
It was me and what's his name, Cuervo, I believe.
Okay, the sergeant with internal affairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Did the security guards say if there was anybody else that was using cocaine also, or did they specifically say that it was him only, or what is it that they told you regarding that?
They said they basically observed him, because when I asked them, I go, who else was in there with him, and they said no, he was with some guy that they said when they approached him that he was like some tourist or somebody that he just met inside the club.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it was another PO, if the guy lied to the security guy, I don't know.
Okay. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you feel is important to this case?
No, not that I can remember.
Okay. Is there anything else that you've told me that you'd like to elaborate more on?
No, I think everything is should be on point.
Okay. And after the officer that took custody of the suspected narcotics,
Right.
who was that handed over afterwards to?
I believe it was your IA guys.
Okay. Do you know who it was?
I want to say, you know what, to be honest with you, I don't remember, because I know Cuervo came out and Sergeant Molina came out. I'm not sure which one.
Okay, no, it's if you
what.
saw
Yeah.
you saw it occur. Have you understood all of my questions?
Yes.
Is everything you told me today been the truth?
Yes.
Have I treated you fairly?
Yes.
In accordance with Florida State Statute 112.533, because this is an open investigation, you're not to disclose any information or discuss any details regarding this case until the case is closed. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay, this will conclude your statement. Thank you for speaking with me, and the time is now 14:41 hours. Good morning. Today's date is December 8th, 2017, and the time is now 11:52 hours. My name is Sergeant Yvonne Valdez, and I'm assigned to the Office of Internal Affairs. I'm here at the Office of Internal Affairs to take a statement from Mr. Adam Gold, who is a witness regarding Internal Affairs Case 17014. This statement is a reference to an allegation of misconduct which occurred on November 18, 2017 at approximately 3:30 hours at Club 11, which is located at 29 Northeast 11th Street. Also present in the room is Detective Caraballo, also the Internal Affairs Office. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Are you aware that this statement is being recorded?
I am.
Are you recording this statement with any of your own personal devices?
Am I what?
Are you recording this statement with any of your own personal
Negative.
devices? Okay. Please state your name,
Adam Gould.
your work address,
29 Northeast 11th Street.
your
Mailing address 6.
okay. Your date of birth,
6/10/77.
and a good phone number. Okay. So, as you're aware, we brought you in today to speak of the incident that happened on at Club 11 on November 18, 2017. Were you working that day?
Yes.
Okay. And what is your position?
Director of Security.
Okay. So, tell me what occurred.
I was dealing with a situation elsewhere. We heard a radio call go out. I answered the radio call to a certain area. The area is known as DJ South area.
Okay.
It's the south side of the building, closest to the DJ bar and DJ booth. Where one of my guardians, Malik Hunt, witnessed Adrian Santos. Is that his name?
Whatever you know him as.
Out in the open doing lines of, or doing sniffs of what appeared to be illegal narcotics. I approached where Malik was. He pointed out the individual. I asked the individual if he was doing anything that he shouldn't be doing, anything illegal. He looked at me for a minute, and then I asked him if he was doing anything illegal. He reached in his pocket and pulled out a bag of white powdery substance, which I assume to be, or it appears to be, some type of illegal narcotic. So I walk him outside DJ South exit, because, you know, this is what we normally do. We don't stand for any type of illegal substances. We protect our license and our business and our brand at all costs. We have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to illegal narcotics or anything that appears to be illegal narcotics. And we exited the guest just like we do in any other circumstance. The DJ South exit is where, when we walked out, that's where we have the MEDA officers, MEDA, Miami Entertainment District Association, the off-duty officers that work the association during the weekends. There was 3 or 4 officers that were standing back there, 1 sergeant. And when we walked him out the door, one of the officers or sergeant immediately recognized him as Miami Police off-duty. Said, hey, that's one of our guys. The sergeant asked me what was going on, why we brought him outside, and I explained to him that he was seen inside doing something that appeared to be illegal narcotics right out in the open. So at this point in time, because I heard the officer, the sergeant, state that he's one of ours, quote unquote, Adrian said that I'm Miami PD. I said, okay. So I looked at the sergeant, I said, we're just escorting him out. And the sergeant said, well, we have to make a call on this. So they took over from there, put him in the backseat of the car, and made whatever phone calls he made.
Okay. And then what happened?
I was mistaken. I thought that he was arrested, but I guess it wasn't an arrest, but he was taken wherever he was taken to, in the back of a car.
Okay. And that was the end of your involvement at that point? Or was there any further involvement?
Here and there, they just asked us what was going on. Same story that you got here. It's exactly what we stated.
Who is they?
The officers.
The ones that were on the scene already?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't talk to anybody else. There was no other... Well, actually, that's not true. I don't recall if one of the newer people that were brought into the scenario had asked me any questions or not. I don't recall. I had a lot going on that night. We had a very busy night, and I'm sure if you read the tabloids, you see the other big incident that happened on the same day. So a lot of these things are kind of meshing together. So as far as anybody else that was brought into the scene at that given point in time, I don't recall if I had answered any further questions or whatever. I had talked to a lot of people that night.
Okay.
But as far as statements and this, whatever, I didn't give any.
Okay. Now, let's go back a little bit. You said that you got a call on the radio.
Correct.
You guys have handheld radios, or how does... on the
two-way radios.
Okay. And who did you receive a call from?
Hunt. Guardian Malik Hunt.
And where was he located? Do you know when he...
Same area.
Okay.
That's where I arrived, to the DJ South area.
Okay. And what is it that he told you?
He told me that he appeared, that he had witnessed... am I saying his name right?
It's okay.
Adrian Santos. It's you're hesitant to say his name is.
No, I'm just saying
is that
for...
who we're talking about?
I want you to tell me how you know him. You know him as Adrian Santos.
Is that who we're talking about here? Is that the police officer that you're asking me questions about?
I will get into all of that as the interview goes on.
I'm not understanding. I want to make sure that we're talking about the same person.
We are talking about the same
Okay.
person. Okay. So you get a radio call from Malik saying exactly what?
That he witnessed Adrian Santos doing something that appeared to be illegal narcotics.
Okay.
And because 11 Miami, we do extensive trainings on, how to operate the business, how to protect the business, how to protect the brand, how to protect the licensing. Things happen in nightlife that we have to deal with.
Okay. And did he advise where this was going on, or?
At that given moment in time, I didn't ask. He just pointed that the guest was right here.
Oh, okay. So my question was if it had occurred somewhere else and then it occurred again, or if that's just the only incident that you guys were notified of. Okay. Now, the person that you stopped, have you seen this person before?
He had a familiar face.
Okay.
Why do I know his face? I don't know if he's been inside the club before. I'm horrible. I've asked you this guy's name 30 times. I don't know. I'm horrible with names. I'm phenomenal with faces. So I usually remember a face. For some reason, his face looked familiar to me, and I don't know if it was because he has been a frequent guest of the club or in the area. Where 11 Miami sits. It's in the entertainment district of Miami, and there's 3 or 4 clubs right in that vicinity. And I spent a lot of time outside dealing with situations, so maybe I saw him in passing. I don't recall him being a police officer that we've ever dealt with before. Okay. And I definitely didn't recognize him as a police officer, but his face did look somewhat familiar. Why, I have no idea.
Okay. And describe how he looked.
The description of how he looked is going to be intertwined with how he acted.
Okay, that's fine.
Because he looked like he was there, like he was knowing what was going on, but his delay in reaction seemed to be like he was almost impaired, or what I would consider to be impaired.
Okay, so I'm sorry, go on.
The way that it seemed like he didn't understand the severity of what was going on, especially after the sergeant got involved. Like he was like, he was, yeah, I did it. Like the bag of cocaine that was in, or powdery substance, what appeared to be cocaine, seemed to be not important to him. Like he was like, yeah. Like it was no problem. So I don't know how to describe it. Like he was like there, but not there.
Okay. And physically, how did he look?
Physically, he looked fine. He was standing.
No, I mean his description. A description of him.
I don't know, 5'10", 5'11", maybe a little bit shorter, 5'9". I'd say light brown hair, thin, 170 pounds, 180 pounds, black t-shirt, blue jeans, I believe, black jeans, blue jeans, something, thinner built.
Okay. And about how old is he?
If I had to take a shot in the back, I'd say, I don't know, 25, 28, 30, maybe.
Okay. And was he with anyone?
Yeah. So there was another male who, when I approached, asked him what was going on, he pulled the substance out of his pocket that was in a bag, handed it to me. I looked at it, figured, okay, this is something that shouldn't be in our club. Walked him outside the door. And as soon as, I don't recall if it was the police officers or the sergeant, one of them said, that's one of ours. One of my guys said, he's with his buddy. And I said, go inside and grab him, bring him out. And he brought out another guy. And I want to say that he was almost like Indian descent or Pakistan, something with a little bit of a darker complected. He was wearing a collared shirt, buttoned down, tucked in.
Okay.
And when I went back to the surveillance and I ran the cameras, I saw that he was, it looked like they were covering for each other while he was sniffing the substance.
Who is he?
I don't know his name. I never got it.
The gentleman with the button down,
yes.
or the one that you stopped?
Both. They were both right there, like catching each other's backs while they were, I can't say it was cocaine, but
okay.
what appeared to be, some type of substance. And then when I instructed one of my guys to bring him out. They did bring him out, and then he played. It was that guy that I saw later in surveillance. I don't know who he is, and he took off.
Okay. Now
I have a picture of him. Did you see the video?
I did.
So do you know the male that I'm talking about?
The one that is with him when you guys stop him.
Yes.
Okay.
Which, when I was sifting through and believe me, I've spent hours playing. I think I explained to you, my fast forward isn't working on the surveillance system, so I literally had to just watch. And the way that the crowd, we have multiple points of entry at the front door. We have a couple ropes, and one main, so bottlenecking starts.
Okay.
So trying to sift through heads is tough. So going back to their surveillance and looking at the description of the two gentlemen together kind of helped me sift through the crowd from a surveillance perspective. It was tough. I still didn't pinpoint either one of them coming in because you requested the end time.
Okay.
So going back to the incident of when I walked them out, I recognized the guy that they were covering each other and doing whatever they were doing is the same guy that my guy had brought outside, and then all of a sudden he said to me, I don't know this guy, and took off.
Okay.
So he was dishonest with me.
Okay, and you said you have the photograph?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a still from...
That's paused. That's the video. I paused.
Okay. Can you... I have that video, but if you can please send me that still to my email. I'll give it to you now. Just to ensure that I get it.
Can you send me a request for...
Yes, of course.
And I'll respond to it with it.
Yes.
I don't mean to be so...
No, that's fine.
Just...
I understand. I sent you an email stating, can you please send me the photograph that you are referencing? in your interview.
And there's no case number on this, right?
I sent you. Give me 1 second. You're referencing an interview. Okay, I sent you the email that we have exchanged.
Where's this draft? Got it.
Have you seen that gentleman that he was with before?
Him I didn't recognize. I don't know if you did it. What is your position on this?
Just detective, assisting with the investigation.
I'll check in a few minutes. Okay, so, and I know that you said that he was of Indian descent and a button down, but if you can describe him like you did with
Dark hair, I don't know if he was a little bit tall, a little bit short, the same height, thereabouts, the same height, thinner build, clean cut look, pressed, he wasn't sloppy, he was a better put together patron of the club. Seemed to be aware of his surroundings. When he told me that I don't know who this guy is and took off, he didn't seem any type of impaired.
Okay. And do you remember any facial features, color of eyes, any facial hair?
I don't recall any facial hair, and again, my memory is jogged by the surveillance, so I'm going based on what I saw in the surveillance. I don't recall any facial hair, and if I remember correctly, they were brown eyes, brown hair.
Okay. And you said that he had a button down. What color button down?
That I don't recall.
Okay. And you said that his shirt was tucked in.
Yeah, and again, my memory is jogged by the surveillance.
Okay.
And the surveillance jogged my memory as to my interaction with it, which was brief.
Okay. So you get the call. You observe them. You observe both of them sniffing?
No.
Only the gentleman that you escorted out?
Yes.
Okay. And how many times did he sniff?
That I saw in surveillance, 2.
Okay. That you personally saw when
Correct.
you were...
Now, you had asked me to, and forgive me, it's been a crazy busy week. You had asked me to go back and look at the stairs, which I'm going to have to do tonight. If I find more, I find more. But the 2 that I've seen so far to date is only those 2.
Okay. No, I mean, what I asked is how many times he sniffed, and you said 2.
Yes.
Okay.
But you also asked me to go back and see if he
course.
did it again on the stairs, and I haven't done that yet.
Okay. And you said that this appears to be an illegal narcotic. Do you have any training or
I have a lot of training.
Regarding narcotics and...
Regarding narcotics, regarding, guest impairment, functions of the body, all sorts of different things.
Okay. And when you approach him, you ask him if he was engaging in any illegal behavior, and what was his answer?
He paused for a minute, and he kind of looked at me, and then I said, "Do you have anything illegal on you? Are you doing anything illegal in the club?" And he reached in his own pocket and pulled out bag of white powdery substance and handed it to me, which, when you asked me, his mannerisms or whatever the question was, I forget verbatim. He appeared like he was, I don't want to say sober, but aware. But how he didn't take the level of severity, especially him being a police officer, how he just handed it to me like it was normal, like it was okay, and said, "Yeah, this." To me, it was just that was a first for me.
Okay, and what pocket did he take it out of?
I'd be guessing.
Okay, that's fine. If you don't remember, that's fine. And did he hand you anything else?
No.
Or only the narcotics?
No, but outside, when we brought him outside, our usual practice is to always document. When we walk him out the doors, and we call it 86, whether we 86 somebody for the night, for a week, for a month, for a year, we document, and we always ask for ID.
86 is like a trespass warning, I assume?
86 is asking somebody to leave, getting rid of somebody. 86 is a term in restaurants that, if a menu item is if you run out of steaks for the night, steaks are 86 for the night. So we kind of translated that into, if we're ejecting somebody out for the night or for the week or for the year or whatever, they're 86.
Okay.
And the way that we document it is, per standard, is we ask for their ID. We take a picture of the ID, we take a picture of them, and then we, based on the infraction, whatever it is, we kind of tell them how long we don't want them to come back for. Sometimes it's indefinitely, based on, the severity of it. So we always document. We try to report, as much internal documents as possible. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because normally we would just stop them, ask for the ID, and they'd be on their way or whatever. In this situation, I don't recall if, I believe the officers spotted him before I got the chance to ask for the ID. I ended up getting the ID because all this happened, but I don't think it was until after the police officers, whether it be the sergeant or the officer, said, "That's one of ours."
Okay, and he was photographed by you guys? The normal procedure was done? As far as, I know that you said maybe after, but...
It wasn't really normal at this point in time.
Okay.
Because he was in custody.
Okay. And what about the other gentleman that was with him?
No identification whatsoever.
Was he photographed?
No.
Okay.
Was he... Aside from what I sent you on video.
Was he, in your terms, 86th that evening?
I didn't have the opportunity to because he said, I don't know who this guy is, and took off.
Okay.
So we didn't really have the opportunity to.
So he just left the club?
This was outside.
But I'm saying, obviously, he didn't go back inside or anything. He just...
As far as I know.
Okay.
Now, when we do eject people, when people pay the cover charge or walk through the door, they get a stamp.
Okay.
Right? And that's for re-entry purposes. When we eject somebody for the night, usually we cross off that stamp.
Okay.
This tells the front door that they're not allowed back in for the night. We didn't get the opportunity to do that on his stamp. So whether he walked around the building and went back inside, I don't know. I can't go on record and tell you, no, he was not back in the building. If I'm not sure if he did go back in or not.
Okay. And was any report or any documentation filled out for this on behalf of the club or on your end? Adrian, did you guys anything? Did you guys Did you guys write any type of report or anything?
Guy, yes.
Okay.
But the other guy, we don't know who he is or name or any of that.
Okay. Now, you said that had you seen them before that happened in the club? Not on a previous occasion, but that evening, had you seen them before?
Like I told you before, his face looks familiar to me.
Mm-hmm.
When and where, I'd be guessing.
Okay. And You said that he gave you a bag containing the suspected cocaine. What did the bag look like?
It looked like a bag that most people put cocaine inside of, or what appears to be cocaine inside of powdery substance. It was a bag about 1.5 inches tall, 1.5 inches wide, maybe 2 inches tall, 2 inches wide, plastic, sealable.
Okay.
I don't know what you call those, but little plastic baggies that are sealable. It's what, more times than not when you find cocaine, that's what these bags are in. Sometimes they're colored green or blue. I believe this one had some tint to it. I don't know if it was bluish green or whatever.
Okay. And aside from pausing and him handing you the cocaine, did he say anything else to you at that point while you guys were inside?
No, I told him right away, follow us, we're going to go right outside the door, and no hesitation. It just came, everything was just normal to him.
Okay.
Excuse me.
It's okay. And when you got custody of the bag, what did you do with it?
Stayed in because I always carry a flashlight on my right hand.
Okay.
It stayed in my left hand through the exit door.
Okay.
And right to where the police officers were.
Okay. It stayed in your hand the whole entire time?
The whole entire time.
Okay. And when you stepped outside, you said that the officers were there. About how far would you say the officers were from the doorway to where they were?
20 feet.
20 feet. Okay.
The doorway itself is pretty deep. It's from here to the corner, I'd say. So that's 2 of me. That's got to be 12 feet in itself. And then you got the sidewalk, so yeah, 18 feet maybe.
Okay. And where exactly were the officers positioned?
Right there by the sidewalk.
Okay. And who did you hand that to?
I believe the sergeant.
The sergeant.
I'm not 100% on that. It might have been one of the officers.
Okay, but you handed it off to someone in uniform,
Yes.
one of the gentlemen that you made contact with. Did you see what they did with it?
Yeah, they put it into an evidence bag.
How did the evidence bag look?
Clear.
Okay. And then what happened with the gentleman?
They put him in the back seat of one of the marked cruisers.
Okay. Did you?
I don't know if they handcuffed him at that point in time or not. I don't recall.
Okay. And did you see a vehicle number on that car?
They all have vehicle numbers. I did not take reference of them.
Okay. And you said that his name is Adrian Santos. How do you know him by that?
Identification.
From his ID?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that you made contact with the sergeant and the officers. What is the name of the sergeant and or the officers, whoever you have names for?
Sergeant Matt Vasquez.
Okay.
Officer, and I always say his name wrong.
That's okay.
Cazadilla.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Carlos Cazadilla.
Okay.
And the other 2 I don't recall.
Okay. And would you be able to supply us with a copy of the report that you have documenting this event?
Yeah, but you gotta give me
through the email. Yes, I will. I'll send you an email.
You gotta give me through the weekend too.
Oh no, that's fine. But I just wanted to get it. As far as the video, I know that we continuously speak about the video.
Yeah.
You did supply us 3 videos, or 3 camera angles, essentially.
Three
one
videos.
for. Well, it's the 3 surveillance.
Angles,
and 3 angles of surveillance. That was DJ Bar South. There's an angle coming from the bar, and there's one from the bottom of the stairs.
Correct.
And we have the one of the exit of
Correct.
the club that leads to 11th Street. Is there any other, obviously you guys have surveillance inside the nightclub. I have asked you for the surveillance that's coming down from the stairs. Aside from the video that's inside of the nightclub, are you aware of any other videos or photographs that you know are that
Pertinent to this
yes,
case.
exactly.
I mean, well, once he's in police custody, that doesn't.
No, I'm saying, like, did you take a video, or did Malik take any videos, or anybody else that you have been made aware that have videos or photos of this that we are not aware of?
No.
Okay. Is there anything else that I have asked you that you feel is pertinent to this investigation in any way?
Is there anything else that you have asked me?
That I haven't asked you that you feel is
I
important?
think it's cut and dry. I don't understand why he was acting like everything was okay. That's weird to me. There was no kind of concern.
Okay.
What appeared to be concern.
And another question that I did have actually is, did you notice any substances or anything on his face?
It's funny you asked that. I believe I stated that I noticed it on his nose.
On his nose, okay. Was it on any
I'm
part of his
not
nose
100% sure.
specifically, or?
I believe I pointed that out today. It's funny you said that. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I'm pretty sure I believe I made mention to that.
Okay, and what nostril was that? Okay, I'm gonna show you a sequential photographic lineup. I'm going to read the instructions for you now. In a moment, you will be asked to view a series of photographs. Do not assume the person of interest is included in this photo array. It may or may not be one of these. The photos are not in any particular order. You're not obligated to choose any of the photos. It is just as important to clear innocent persons from suspicion as it is to identify guilty parties. I do not know whether the person being investigated is included in the photo array. Regardless of whether you make an identification, we will continue to investigate the incident. Keep in mind that individuals presented in this series may not appear exactly as they did on the date of the incident because features such as head and facial hair are subject to change. Also, photographs may not always depict the true complexion of a person. The person's complexion may be lighter or darker than shown in the photo. Pay no attention to any markings or numbers that may appear on the photos or any other differences in the type or style of photographs. You should not feel that you have to make an identification. If you do identify someone, I will have you sign and date the photograph of the person you have identified. The photos will be shown to you one at a time and are not in any particular order. Take as much time as you need to examine each photo. If you do make an identification before reviewing all the photographs, I will continue to show you the remaining photos. There are some blank photos in the series. This is part of the normal process. Since this is an ongoing investigation, you should not discuss the identification procedures or results. Do you understand the way the photo array procedure will be conducted and the other instructions that I have given you?
I do. You guys have bottles of water? Yeah. No.
We don't, but we'll get you water now. So, sign here, please.
Do you understand, by the way, the photo array procedure will be conducted and the other instructions I have given you? Yes.
Photograph number 1. Do you recognize this person?
He looks familiar.
Right. How he looks familiar to you, or just?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. You can write that and then sign it. And date it for me, please, too. Photograph number 2, do you recognize this person?
Yes, looks familiar.
Okay. Also write that. Photograph number 3, do you recognize this person?
No, I do not.
Photograph number 4, do you recognize this person?
No, I do not.
Photograph number 5, do you recognize this person?
He looks familiar.
Photograph number 6, do you recognize that person?
Yes.
How do you recognize that person?
He's a police officer.
Which police officer?
I don't know his name. Oh. Is that him? Can I look?
Nope, just based off your memory, if you recognize that person or not. And if you do recognize, just note how you recognize that
That
person.
looks like...
Photograph number 7, do you recognize this person?
Looks familiar.
Photograph number 8, do you recognize this person?
I do not.
Photograph number 9 is a blank page. Photograph number 10 is a blank page as well. The ID that you said that the officer gave you, was that a Florida ID or was that his police ID?
No, it wasn't a police ID.
Okay.
It was a driver's license.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now.
Okay. And the other gentleman that he was with, about how old was he?
I'd put him in the same age category.
Okay. And you said he had dark hair.
Yes.
How was his hair?
Nice and neat, not sloppy. Maybe, or I just sent you the picture of him, so I'm going based off of that picture. I
Just
think there was
after your memory, how you saw him at.
I think there was a part in his hair. Nice and neat.
Do you remember?
Short.
Do you remember what side it was parted?
It was a Florida ID for Adrian Santos.
Okay. And I received the photograph.
There was no tint to the plastic bag. It was clear.
Okay. Okay, and can you also send me that photograph, please?
Send me the
Is
request.
that okay?
keep any type of documentation when you 86 someone and you take their photographs? Do you keep a log somewhere, or do you have a database or file? Did you happen to check it to see if he was in there already?
No.
Oh, it's in your phone?
I'm sorry?
It's in your phone, or it's something
No.
tangible?
I don't keep it like by first and last name. Just too much. We go based on pictures, memory, and incident reports. So if I file away an incident report and I go back, if it's a serious case and I go back and I look, then I look to see if it's the same last name or same first name. And more times than not, it's not really the same person or the same infractions.
And when was that photograph taken?
Which,
The one that I'm asking you for now.
again, I don't recall if it was after the police had custody of him, or it was obviously after it because I took that picture on the back of a police car.
Okay, so that was actually on the police car.
Yes.
Okay. And that was prior to you handing them the cocaine or after?
No, I believe after.
So the actual time?
Well,
in terms of photo?
Yeah.
I don't know how long until after they took custody of it did it go into the evidence bag. Had to be some kind of time, enough time for me to take a picture of it.
Okay, I sent you the email. Was an officer with you when you took the photograph?
They were all standing right there.
And if possible, do you have the date and timestamp for that photograph?
I don't think that shows up. Let me see here.
If it's as one of your photographs, it should on the top.
If I take a screenshot of it, I think there.
Great. Do you have any other photographs from that evening?
Like I said, it was a busy night.
No, I mean regarding this incident.
Just one more of him.
Okay.
Do you want them both?
Yes, please. It should be coming in soon.
Did you used to work at the state attorney's office? You do look familiar.
A lot of people look familiar to you. A lot of people look familiar to you.
A lot of people, right?
I'm sure you see a lot of people.
He's spoken on the phone a few times.
Are you in court a lot? No? Lucky.
Also, when he was sniffing the suspected cocaine, was he using any device to sniff it, or how exactly was that?
I don't know if it was a straw or a key. I was watching that in the video as well.
From your recollection, though,
I couldn't really see what he was using. If it was, something to scoop it. It was obviously something to scoop it. I don't know if it was a straw or a key or what it was, but he was digging. You can see it in the video. He's digging in the bag and.
Okay, but you never confiscated anything else?
Paraphernalia-wise, no.
Okay. Did you guys search him, or he was the one that handed you?
Never searched him.
Okay. So once again, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you feel is important for this case?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay. If anything else comes up, or if you think of anything else, you have my information. So we'll be in contact regarding that the extra surveillance. But of course, anything else that comes up, please make sure to let me know. Have you understood all of my questions?
I have.
Is everything you told me today been the truth?
The truth.
Have you been treated fairly?
Absolutely.
In accordance with Florida State Statute 112.533, as is an ongoing investigation, you are not to speak of the investigation or discuss any information or detail with anyone. Do you understand this?
Even my boss.
Anything that has to do with your position, I mean anything regarding this in the statement, anything that I've told you or that you've told me, obviously if you have to speak to your boss regarding your job and your position, then, but no other details, no anything that's official, yes, of course, because you have a boss to answer to, but just nothing unofficial, nothing, and thank you for taking the time to speak with me. The time is now 12:40 hours. And this concludes it. Good morning. Good afternoon. Today's date is January 4th, 2018, and the time is now 14:47 hours. My name is Sergeant Yvonne Valdez, and I'm assigned to the Office of Internal Affairs. I'm here at the Office of Internal Affairs to take a statement from Malik Hunt, who is a witness regarding Internal Affairs case ADM 17014. This statement is a reference to allegations of misconduct which occurred on November 18, 2017 at approximately 0330 hours at the location of Club 11, which is located at 29 Northeast 11th Street. Also present in the room is Detective Dolce, also of the Internal Affairs Office. Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay. Are you aware that the statement is being recorded?
Yes.
Are you recording the statement with any of your own personal devices?
No.
Okay. Please state your name.
Malik Hunt.
Your current address. And your date of birth.
May 12th, 1992.
And a good contact number for you. Okay. In your own words, tell me what occurred that incident and how you were involved in the incident that occurred on November 18, 2017.
I was assigned to a post towards the back end of the club, as we call it, Pit South.
Okay.
At my post, I witnessed a gentleman behind my shoulder. Once I turned around, seemed to be snorting what appeared to be cocaine through his nose off of a keychain. Only reason it appeared that way because it was a white substance, and majority of times in the nightclub when someone leans over or sniffs anything up their nose and it's white, 9 times out of 10 it's probably cocaine. We have no testers on site, so there's no definitive way to prove that it was that, but he ended up, once I saw that he was doing that, I walked up to him, approached him, asked him exactly what he had in his pocket, because I saw him, as soon as he saw me walking towards him, he put it in his pocket, and I told him, before you even lied to me, I saw what you just did, pull out your pocket, and in that same motion, my manager was not too far away, luckily, so I brought him over as well, and then we both interrogated him right there and there on the spot. He willingly emptied his pockets out. He had about a small bag of cocaine on him, or what appeared to be cocaine. We then escorted him outside, and there were some off-duty officers there. We handed it over to him, over to the officers, and that was about the end of it.
Okay. Now, what is your position? You work for Club 11?
Yes, I'm a guardian there at 11.
Okay, and what does that job entail?
We basically protect the nightclub from anything that happens.
Okay, do you normally stop people when you see them?
Yeah, anybody that's doing any illegal activity in the club, we make sure it doesn't happen. As far as solicitation, drugs, if they're too intoxicated, we escort them out, make sure they get home safely. Pretty much anything that entails keeping the business in order with our licensing.
Okay. And do you have any training regarding narcotics or anything of that sort?
Well, I have a criminal justice degree, bachelor's degree, and I also have a security license. And before we get hired, we take a 12-hour course on security. I forgot the name of it, but it's like a host security thing. It's like 12 hours. It entails over drugs, how to deal with customers, how to use force that's necessary to subdue somebody. It all works.
Okay. And have you had experiences like this before, that you have taken people out for
Yes.
having illegal narcotics and stuff like that?
Yes, plenty of times. In the nightclub industry, that's one of the main problems we have, besides over-intoxication.
Okay. Now, on that evening, you said that you were standing there, and then over your shoulder you saw something. Where was the male snorting the cocaine in relation to where you were?
The dance floor, the way it's set up, it's like in front of me.
Okay.
And I always, my post is to watch the dance floor in the back bar area.
Okay.
And the time that I did turn over to look at the back bar area, I saw him in the corner with another gentleman, and he was proceeding to snort something up his nose off his keychain.
Okay. And you saw the keychain, or you assumed that it was a keychain?
No, it was a keychain.
Okay.
And it had like a little glass on it or something on there.
Okay. And did you ever take possession of this keychain, or did anybody ever take possession of this keychain?
No one took possession of it. We just took possession of the narcotics. What was believed to be narcotics.
Okay. Do you know, excuse me, do you know the person that you stopped? Have you seen this person before?
No, I've never seen him before. He said he comes there often, but of course we probably interact with over 2,000 people a night, so it's pretty much impossible to tell who's who.
And you haven't seen him before, maybe on prior days or probably nights or whatever, but did you see him before that evening, or was that the first time you saw him that evening? First
time I saw him, first encounter.
Okay. And who was he with?
Another gentleman that said he just met him, but he said he had nothing to do with him.
Okay. And how did the gentleman that you stopped, how did he look?
He was a white male, possibly like maybe 5'10", clean cut, pretty average looking gentleman.
Okay. And what was the gentleman that he was with? What was his description? How did he look?
About the same, just a little bit shorter than him as well. He had a little bit longer hair though.
Okay. And did he have any tattoos, any features, any birthmarks, anything that's the distinguishing characteristic that he had that stands out?
They didn't have anything too much that would stand out from anybody else.
Okay. So when you see him, do you approach him by yourself, or do you approach him with your manager, or how does that work when you see him?
When we see anybody doing anything, we approach them, and then we call a manager over, and they basically back us up, and then only with the manager's approval do we ever take anybody outside of the club.
Okay. And you let him know you let him know before you approached him, or as you were approaching him, or
What do you mean?
that you let the manager know?
No. As I approached him, I let him know.
Okay. And who is the manager that you spoke to?
Adam Gold.
Okay. So, what is, from what you can remember, what exactly was the exchange of conversation?
Basically, I said everything to him. I said, I know you have something in your pocket. I've seen you doing what appeared to be cocaine. I'm going to ask you to take everything out your pockets right now, and he willingly did so. I meant to say he did, before we took him out, he did disclose that he was a police officer.
He told you that, or he told Adam that?
He told both of us, because we were both standing at the same time.
Okay, so when you told him that, he's doing illegal activity and all that stuff, what does he tell you?
He basically just stated that he works for Miami PD, and Adam, he has a good relation with the department, so he said, okay, well, we'll just walk outside and you hand it over to them and let them do what they want to do with it.
Okay. And do you remember exactly what he said as far as being a police officer?
No, he didn't say much else. For somebody who was doing that, he seemed very calm in demeanor. Mostly anybody we see doing cocaine, they're a little more hyperactive, but he was more melatonin in his demeanor.
Was he with anybody else or just with that one gentleman?
Just with the one gentleman.
Okay.
Who we then found out he didn't know at all. They just had met that moment. I guess they were probably just partying together.
Okay. And have you ever seen that person before?
No.
And how many times did you see him snort cocaine? Or would you believe this?
Just the once. And then as soon as I saw it, he saw me see him doing it, and I approached him.
Okay. And was it just him that you saw, or did you see the other gentleman?
The other gentleman I didn't see. But it wasn't really in a disclosed location where you could kind of hide. It was pretty much out in the open.
Okay. And you said that there was a baggie that he had. Do you remember where he had that baggie in?
In his pocket.
Do you remember which pocket?
Basically, it was his right pocket.
His right pocket, okay. And who did he give the baggie to?
To Adam.
Okay. And what did Adam do with it?
We all went outside and we handed it over to police that were outside, off-duty officers.
And as you guys were walking, where was the baggie?
In Adam's hand.
Okay. Do you remember which hand it was?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And what did the baggie look like?
Fairly small, like about this size, with a Ziploc bag, like one of the small little Ziploc bags that you can.
Okay. And did it have any tint to it, or was it clear?
Clear.
Okay. And when you guys got outside, what happened? Or was there any other property that was given to you or to Adam?
No, just once we saw the keys he put the keys back in his pocket. We just confiscated the baggie and walked him outside.
Okay. And what happened once you guys got outside?
Once we were outside, we brought him, because the way the exit is, I don't know what street that is. I think that's maybe 11th Street. The exit door is on 11th Street, right across from Space.
Yeah.
So we walked him down our little side street. I don't know if that's Miami Court, maybe.
I believe so.
Yeah, so we walked him towards Miami Court, where there was like 3 off-duty officers there. I told them, this guy says he's one of you guys, do you know him? And they said that one of the officers immediately knew who he was, and then they took over from there.
Okay. And about how far did you guys stay there speaking to him by the door, or was it an immediate thing that you guys went out to the officers, or how was it that happened?
Probably talked to him about 2 or 3 seconds. As soon as we confiscated it, we walked outside.
But I mean, once you guys were outside, that you came out, were you there?
They're literally right there on the side.
Okay. They were stopped on the side?
Yeah, they hang out on that cross street right there.
Okay.
So they're at 11 and can have view of Space as well.
Okay. And who did you guys make contact at that point with?
I'm not sure the officer's name, but I would know him.
How did he look?
He's one of the Hispanic officers. I think his last name is Garcia, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, and what was his description?
I see him almost every night too. And I can't even remember, but majority of the time he's always at 11. One of the off-duty officers there. Kind of average height, Spanish male. He has somewhat of an accent.
Okay.
That's about it.
Does he have short hair, bald?
Short hair, short black hair.
Heavy set, thin set?
Somewhat thin.
Okay.
Average build.
Okay. And did you guys speak to the officers as a group, or did you guys speak to specific officers, or?
All three officers are all there standing there when we told them what happened. So.
Okay. And what exactly did you guys tell them?
That we found this gentleman. He says he's one of you guys. What do you want to do with him? He found some cocaine, or what appeared to be cocaine, on him. Okay. And the officer then took it to that next level by calling whoever was the person in charge of their shift at the time. Okay.
And you said that the other officer, the off-duty officer, knew who he was. How did you gather that?
His reaction.
What was his reaction, or what did he say?
He's like, "Come on!" So before we even said who he was, he saw who he was, and he's like, "Oh, come on, man! What are you doing?"
Okay.
And that, is kind of like an indication that you knew who exactly he was.
Yeah. And what did the gentleman say?
He didn't really say much. For the most part, he was pretty much quiet.
Okay.
Throughout the whole ordeal.
Okay. And did at any time he tell you, other than saying that he was a police officer, did he say anything else to you?
No, besides he was a police officer, he was trying to basically saying, guys, you have to do all of this, just toss this away or whatever, but for the most part he didn't really say much else.
Okay. And then after you guys stepped outside, who took custody? Did you guys keep the or did one of the officers? I'm not sure what Adam did with it. I don't know whether he gave it to him or not, or we kept it, but then he was putting one into the back of the police cars. The gentleman? Yeah. Okay. And at what point did you guys leave and go back inside, or? After I saw him go in the car, I went back into the club. Adam stayed. Okay. I'm pretty sure they spoke with them or whatever, and then I didn't come back out until whoever their lead was in charge at the time for the night shift was there, and I spoke with them about what I saw. Okay. And at what time did your shift start that evening? Midnight. Okay. And did you see any white powdery substance on his face? Not that I can remember. But there was a little bit of residue on his keychain when we pulled it off. As I said, that's where I saw him take it off of, and that's where there's a small mirror on it. Okay, so at what point did you see that the residue was on there? As soon as he pulled it out of his pocket in the club. In the club, you saw it? Yeah. Okay, and so you guys gave him the keys back, and nobody ever took custody that you know of? No, not that I know of. The only thing that was taken from him that I know of was the powdery substance. Okay. And at any point did you know what his name was or any information on him? I believe that they took his ID, but we never wrote a report on our end. Okay. Said that we're not gonna, we're gonna let you guys take over, do what you want with it. We're not gonna, tarnish his name or anything with the club. We won't have any involvement. But I'm not sure if Adam himself took more reports on it. Okay. And so you guys didn't document that in any way? What the incident that occurred? We documented it. We have our own incident reports that we write, but we didn't have his ID. We usually take the ID, take a photo of him and all that, but we didn't do it for him. Okay. And the lighting inside the club, you said that you saw, you were able to see it inside the club. What is the lighting like in there? In that area, it's fairly bright, and then of course I had my flashlight on me as well, but I didn't use it. You didn't use it? No, but the lighting was enough to see. It's not as dark as you would think it is. Okay. Do you know any of the officers' names that you guys spoke to? No, I'm not sure their names. I just know them by face. What did the other gentleman do that was with him? What happened when you guys stopped?
I let Adam know that he was with somebody else because we just took him out at the time, and then we go back inside and find him. And we brought him out. He said he doesn't know the guy. He just met him just then and there, and then the officers deemed him that he didn't have anything to do with it and let him back inside.
Okay, so he went back inside the club.
Yeah.
At this time, I'm going to do the sequential photographic array. Let me just fill out this top part of the form. Anything? Do you have any questions? Okay. Go ahead.
Do you recall the clothing description of the gentleman that you saw snorting the suspected cocaine?
It was too long ago for me to remember. We have over 10 incidents a night, so that's why we mostly do documentation.
And so would that be the same for the second gentleman that you believed originally to be with him?
Well, since he had no involvement in it, we don't even just show him off. He has nothing to do with it, so we didn't take any information from him.
Okay, so I'm going to read the instructions now. In a moment, you will be asked to view a series of photos of individuals. It is just as important to clear innocent persons from suspicion as it is to identify guilty parties. The person of interest may or may not be in the photo array, and the photos are not in any particular order. Regardless of whether you make an identification, this incident will continue to be investigated. Keep in mind that individuals presented in this series may not appear exactly as they did on the day of the incident because features such as head and facial hair are subject to change. Also, photographs may not always depict the true complexion of a person. The person's complexion may be lighter or darker than shown in the photograph. Pay no attention to any markings or numbers that may appear on the photos or any other differences in the type or style of the photographs. You should not feel that you have to make an identification. If you do identify someone, I will have you sign and date the photograph of the person you have identified. The photos will be shown to you one at a time and they are not in any particular order. Take as much time as you need to examine each photo. If you make an identification before reviewing all of the photographs, I will continue to show you the remaining photos. There are some blank pages in the series. This is a normal part of the identification process. Since this is an ongoing investigation, you should not discuss the identification procedures or the results. Do you understand the way the photo array procedure will be conducted and the other instructions I have given you?
Yes.
Sign for me right here. Photograph number 1. Do you recognize this person?
No. Well, that might have been one of the officers that was outside.
Okay. Just write down how that person looks familiar to you and then sign it and date it, please.
Today's the
4th. Photograph number 2. Do you recognize this person?
No.
Photograph number 3. Do you recognize this person?
No.
Photograph number 4. Do you recognize this person?
No.
Photograph number 5. Do you recognize this person? Yep. What, sorry, was that?
No.
Photograph number 6, do you recognize this person?
No.
Photograph number 7, do you recognize this person?
No.
Photograph number 8, do you recognize this person?
No.
Photograph number 9, do you I'm sorry. Photograph number 9 is a blank page. Photograph number 10 is a blank page as well. At this point, do you have any other questions or comments that I haven't asked you about?
No.
The 3 officers that were outside the club, are they the normal 3 officers that work at that club, or does it rotate?
For the most part, it seems like it rotates, but they're one of the officers.
They're one of the 3 that rotate?
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing further.
Have you understood all of my questions?
Yes.
Is everything you told me could have been the truth?
Yes.
Have you been treated fairly?
Yes.
Okay, in accordance to Florida State Statute 112.533, because this is an ongoing investigation, you're not to disclose any information regarding this case until the case is closed. Do you understand this?
Understand.
Okay, thank you for taking the time to speak with me, and this will conclude your statement. The time is now 15:11 hours. Good afternoon. Today's date is December 19, 2017, and the time is now 14:48 hours. My name is Sergeant Yvonne Valdez, and I'm assigned to the Office of Internal Affairs. I'm here to take a statement from Officer Abad Jr., who is a witness officer regarding Internal Affairs case ADM 17014. This statement is in reference to allegations of an allegation of misconduct which occurred on November 18, 2017 at approximately 0330 hours at the location of 29 Northeast 11th Street. Also present in the room is Detective Eric Rodriguez, also the Office of Internal Affairs. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you aware that the statement is being recorded?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you recording the same with any of your own personal devices?
No, ma'am.
Please state your name,
Leandro Andres Abad Jr.
your PIN number,
41708.
and your current assignment.
North District, Little Haiti, PSD.
Okay. Do you have a independent recollection of the incident that occurred on November 18th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me in your own words what happened.
Pretty much we were standing outside of our post, working on off duty. We see the bouncer talking to the gentleman. At some point, Detective Casadilla recognized him, said, "Yeah, he's one of us." The bouncer looks at us and he says, "Hey," he says, "he's one of you guys," and he had this. At which point he lifted up a baggie which looked like it could have been cocaine. We went ahead, we grabbed him, we patted him down or whatever, and then that's when the sergeant pretty much took over.
Okay. And where's your post? What is this post that you're talking about?
It's basically the entertainment district in downtown. It basically covers Space, I think the club is called Heart, and also 11.
Okay. And where were you guys at specifically when you were approached?
We were on the east side of the club. I think it is. It's the east, right? It's 11th Street. I'm sorry, the north side. South side. Jesus, I'm all over the place. The south side.
Okay.
Of the club.
I'm a visual person. So, here you have 11.
Yeah.
Here you have North Miami Avenue. Here you have 11th Street. And here there's a little street and another,
That is decent.
and then here's the parking lot and the overpass is over here. So if you can X out where you guys were at.
Our cars are normally parked here. And we were posted somewhere around here because we have 4 cars. Boom. We were somewhere around here.
Standing
Yes, sir.
outside of your vehicles?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then sign it, please, and put today's date and your ID. Okay. So you guys are standing here. Where do they approach you from? Where are they coming from?
Well, I guess there's an exit here on this part of the club, and they were standing here on the corner.
Okay.
That's where we observed.
Indicate that.
Yeah, okay. So this is, I guess, we'll have him as a circle, the individual that we're talking about, and then this was the bouncer here. And then as they were talking to him, we were watching the encounter, you know, making sure it didn't turn into physical or anything else. And, you know, he basically told us the information that he gave us.
Okay. So who are you with when you're standing here?
It was me, Sergeant Vasquez, and Detective Casadilla.
Okay. Anybody else or just you?
Cal.
Okay. So when you guys are here, who is it that comes out of the club?
Well, they didn't. Okay, I guess they were escorting them out because they found whatever they did in front of the club,
Okay.
and they were just standing there in front of, outside of the club talking.
Okay.
So then, at some point, I guess somebody overheard that he was saying that he was a City Miami police officer. At which point, Casadilla acknowledged, and then that's when he told us, "Hey, look, you know, he was doing whatever inside the club, and we found this on him."
Okay. And about how long would you say that they were talking there?
Anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes.
Talking with the officer?
Yeah.
Okay. And at some point, Casadilla hears them.
I don't know if he heard it. You know, I just remember him saying, "Yeah, he's one of us."
Casadilla?
Casadilla.
Okay. But did you hear what was being said?
No, I had no clue what they were talking to the guy about.
Okay. And you hear him say, "It's one of us"?
Yeah, he's one of us. So I don't know if it was that he recognized him and said, "Hey, he's one of us," or if, you know, he heard something and was like, "Yeah," confirming it.
Okay. And who is it that was here? It was the officer and who else?
Yeah, it was the officer and then one of the bouncers, the security.
Okay. And do you know the officer?
No, I've never met him before.
Okay. And what did he look like?
Light-skinned. I think he was blonde. I don't remember. He was wearing jeans. Had like a medium haircut. I don't remember if he was blonde. He had light hair. But that's about it. I don't remember his name either.
Do you remember what he was wearing?
Yeah, it was blue jeans and a dress shirt, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Like a short sleeve dress shirt.
Okay. And what was his demeanor?
Very calm. Like it was weird how calm he was.
Okay. And at any point did you observe any substance or any powder or
Not on
anything on
him.
his face or on him anywhere?
I didn't see anything, not on him, not around him. The only thing that I had observed was, you know, the fact that the bouncer said, "Hey, look, we found this on." It was a baggie.
Okay. And were you part of the conversation when the bouncer comes up to you guys?
No, we were completely separate from that.
Okay. And at what time, who were you with?
At that point, we were standing by the vehicles. It was me, Detective Casadilla, Officer Cal, and Sergeant Vasquez.
And who do they approach?
Well, they pretty much screamed it out in front of everybody, so, you know, they kind of met us halfway between where we were standing and where they were there, and then we pretty much grabbed them and we took them from there.
Okay, and what did they say specifically that had occurred?
Well, that he was inside the club, I guess using whatever narcotics they found on him, and, you know, they showed us the little baggie.
Okay.
So at which point, you know, the sergeant took over, made the proper notifications, and
who had the baggie?
I grabbed it. I had grabbed it. I put it in an evidence bag along with his keys and everything else, and put it in my front seat. Closed the door.
Okay. But who had it before you?
the actual bouncer, the security guard that was talking to the officer outside of the club.
Okay, and how did he look?
Man, I don't remember. If I see him, I'll be able to point him out, but I don't remember now off the top of my head.
Maybe not any distinguishing features, but do you remember anything at all of how he looked?
Because I remember there was a tall, skinny black male that I don't know if he was the one that saw him inside the club or if he was the one that brought us to things. Because there was like 2 or 3 people there that were there. I know the manager of the club, I think his name is Tommy, or I don't remember what his name is. Sergeant would know. But he was pretty much like the coordinator of the club or whatever. He was out there too. And someone else. I don't remember. There's a third person, but I don't remember. I have to see his face.
Okay. And you don't remember who it is in the hand that you...
No.
Okay. And then you put it in your... what okay. Well, let's rewind. What exactly... How was the narcotics packaged?
It was in a clear plastic baggie.
Okay. And was it just that, or was there anything else?
No, as far as that, it was just a baggie.
Okay. And so, what kind of evidence bag did you package it in?
One of the property evidence bags.
The clear ones, or
the clear plastic ones.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then we just stood by. We left them there in the back of the car. We waited for, the major and the lieutenant and everybody else to show up.
Whose car was he placed in?
Mine.
Okay. And then what happened?
Nothing. We pretty much left him there by himself. Nobody talked to him. Nobody interviewed him. We left him there, and then, when the lieutenant, the major, and everybody else took over, we kind of took a step back and let him take over.
Okay. And did you turn in the drugs?
I did not.
Okay.
There was somebody from Internal Affairs that came up and they grabbed everything.
Do you remember how this person looked? Or who this person
It was a female. I don't remember who showed up. Might have been Sergeant Jacobson, but I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that.
Okay. And you handed it to them?
Yeah.
Do you know what they did with it?
Nope.
Or did you see them put it anywhere or give it to anyone or anything?
Nope.
Okay. And did you see anybody else in the area that also works with the City of Miami Police Department?
No, there was another one of his friends that he kept walking by, but I don't know if he worked with us or not.
Okay, how did that person look?
Short. That kid, I remember, he was white with black hair, kind of short. I think he was wearing a jacket, one of those dress jackets, and I don't know if it was jeans or slacks. But he kept walking back and forth, like asking us questions of what was gonna happen to him. So we pretty much told him, "Yo, you gotta leave. You're not supposed to tell you anything."
Did he say who he was at any point?
No.
What was he asking you?
I guess he was somebody that was with him during, when they went to the club. And he was just asking for his well-being and what was going to happen to him, blah, blah, blah. And, we pretty much told him, look, we can't give you any information as of now, and told him to leave.
Okay. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you feel is important?
No, that's about it.
Did you have any other involvement with this incident?
No.
Have you seen anybody involved ever since this incident?
No.
Has anybody talked to you about this incident ever since?
No.
Okay. Have you understood all my questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Is everything you told me today been the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you been treated fairly?
Yes, ma'am.
In accordance with Florida Statute 112.533, because this is an ongoing investigation, you're not to disclose any information or discuss any details until the case is closed. Do you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for taking the time to speak with me. This will conclude your statement, and the time is now 14:59 hours. Good afternoon. Today's date is December 28th, 2017, and the time is now 15:10 hours. My name is Sergeant Yvonne Valdez, and I'm assigned to the Office of Internal Affairs. I'm here to take a statement from Officer Kyle, who is a witness officer regarding Internal Affairs case ADM 17014. This statement is in reference to allegations of misconduct which occurred on November 18th, 2017 at approximately 0330 hours at Club 11 located at 29 Northeast 11th Street. Also present is Sergeant Frank Espinosa of the Office of Internal Affairs. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you aware that the statement is being recorded?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you recording the statement with any of your own personal devices?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Please state your name,
My name is Officer Louis Cow.
your current assignment,
I'm currently assigned to Little Haiti Problem Solving Team,
and your IBM.
41670.
Oh, okay. Were you working on the morning of November 18th, 2017?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you on duty or were you working an extra duty job?
Extra duty detail.
Okay. And where were you working and what was your job function?
Basically, we were working the Miami Entertainment District, which is located where Club 11 is at. Basically, high visibility. We're tasked with making sure there's no fights, just basically another detail.
Okay. So on that evening, or that morning, better said, what is your recollection of what occurred?
Basically, we were parked on the east side of the building of Club 11.
Okay.
Right by the intersection, at which point the manager and a security guard, they stepped out through the rear exit of the building,
Okay.
which would be, I believe, the south side. At that point, they came out with a gentleman. They were talking. I assumed that while he was doing that, he was just going to get kicked out. At which point, I had a visual, make sure that everything went smoothly. At that point, the manager tells us, he waves a baggie of suspected cocaine, and he tells us that he said, hey, he says he's with you guys. He says he's MPD. So we walked over there. We asked him. The gentleman said, yeah. He gave us his name, his IBM, and I believe he worked the south end. At that point, Sergeant Vasquez was there. We placed him in Abad's vehicle, and Abad retrieved the baggie of suspected cocaine.
Okay. And then what happened?
And Sergeant Vasquez notified a field duty lieutenant. He responded, and he made the appropriate notifications.
Okay. Did you see them exit the club? At what point do you get a visual on them? Once they exit or when they're walking over?
As they were outside.
Okay. And from the moment that they exited, did they come right to you guys, or was there...
No, they just stayed by, not like by the building. Mm-hmm. And, we were by the median,
Okay.
where our vehicles are parked.
Okay. And then what I'm saying is, how long was it from when they came out to when they made contact with you guys?
I want to say, they were just talking. Mm-hmm. And I want to say, less than 2 minutes, more than 10 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who is it that approaches you guys? You said a manager?
Yeah, the manager. Well, he said it from far away, from where he was standing.
Okay. And what exactly is it that he tells you guys?
He told us, hey, he said he's with you guys. He's MPD. Okay. Those are his words. So then that's when we walk over to him.
Okay. And it was just the manager, the officer, and a security personnel?
Yes, ma'am.
It's three of them. How did they look?
The manager is a heavyset man, bald. The security guard, it's a black man.
Okay.
Tall black man.
Okay.
And then the officer, white man.
Okay. And do you remember what he was wearing?
No. I know, I want to say jeans and a shirt.
Okay. And do you know the name of the manager or the security or anybody?
The manager, no, I can't recall.
Okay, that's fine. So he tells you guys that he has this person, and then you said that he had a baggie?
Yeah.
Okay, and where did he have this baggie?
I can't recall where he took it off from, but all I remember was that he waved it like that in the air. He was like, hey.
Did you see him take it off from anywhere at any point?
No.
Okay, so you just saw him waving it?
Yeah, I just saw him.
Did you remember what hand he was waving it with?
I can't recall.
Okay. And then what? And then at that point, do you guys walk over to them or do they walk over to you?
We walked over to them.
Okay. And at any point, did you speak to the officer?
Oh, well, yeah, we were all there, present, and we just asked him, hey, do you work with us? And he said, yeah. He said his name, his badge, and he said where he worked.
Okay. And do you remember what exactly was his information that he told you?
No, I know it was his name, his IBM, and like where he worked, but I can't recall exactly where.
Okay. And who was with you? You said we. Who's we?
It was Officer Abad, Officer Caisadilla,
Okay.
myself, and Sergeant Vasquez.
Okay. And what was the officer's demeanor?
Calm?
Did you notice any white powdery substance on his face?
No, not that I could recall.
Okay. Do you remember looking at it and not seeing anything, or you just can't remember if there was anything there?
No, I didn't see anything.
Okay. And then he is placed in Officer Abad's car.
Yes, ma'am.
And where were the narcotics placed?
In Officer Abad's car.
Okay. Did he place him just like that, or did he place him in something else and then place him in the car?
The narcotics? I would have to ask Officer Abad.
But that you remember?
Oh no, I don't remember.
Okay. And until when were you guys there?
On scene?
Or you particularly?
Oh, until 7 in the morning.
Okay. With that incident, or just
No, well,
working?
we had to wait. Oh, well, working until 7 with the incident. We had to wait for field duty. We waited for the major to respond, and we waited for internal affairs.
Okay. And then you still stayed there, or did you clear after that?
After we stayed there.
I don't know if I missed it, but when you said the manager came out and you described that he basically put his hand up in the air and held a baggie of suspected cocaine,
Yes,
like
sir.
at eye level, and then he says he's with you, MPD.
Yeah.
Did he say anything like, I found this on him, or is that something that happened later? A discussion that happened later, or were you privy to that?
No, I can't recall.
Now, when you saw that and he made that statement about the officer, what did you think?
Basically, what the manager stated was that they approached him because he was sniffing the powder inside the club.
Right,
So they approached him, and then that's when they kicked him out.
Okay.
That's what was relayed to us.
Okay.
And the manager told you that?
Yeah,
Okay.
manager explained that.
He told you guys, or did he tell somebody in particular? Or
I believe he told all of us.
Okay.
Right, so that's when you guys approached, he gave you this, and he told you
Yeah.
this? Okay. And again,
I'm sorry, I don't remember if it was the manager who saw him or the security guard.
but one of those two.
Yeah, one of the two saw him and approached him.
And you said that you don't know who the manager or the security guard are, correct? Have you dealt with them in the past? Maybe?
Yeah, I've dealt with them in the past.
Oh, okay.
I don't know their exact info, but if I see them, I could.
You know who they are?
Yeah, I know who they
Okay. During the time that you were there on the scene, did anybody come and speak or try to speak to the officer that you took into that you detained?
are. No, not to me. I don't know the officers.
Okay.
Did you see any other officer that works in the city of Miami in that area, or walking around, related that he was with him?
No, man. I mean, given my short career, I've always worked in the north, and I didn't even recognize him until he said that he was a police officer. So, so many new faces.
And did he ever ask to speak to somebody? Did he ever ask to speak to somebody in particular, or to give a message to somebody he was with, let's say?
Not that I recall.
Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you feel... after Officer Abad got custody of the suspected cocaine, what happened to it after that? Did he turn it in, or did he give it to somebody else?
No, he gave it to the internal affairs sergeant. I forgot her name. She responded.
How does she look?
Black hair. Female.
Okay.
I just can't remember her name.
Okay, that's fine. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you feel is important?
No, ma'am.
Or any information that you know of that's important to this case?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Have you understood all of my questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Is everything you told me today the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you been treated fairly?
Yes, ma'am.
In accordance to Florida State Statute 112.533, as this is an ongoing investigation, you're not to disclose any details or speak about the case until it's closed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for taking the time to speak with me. This will conclude your statement, and the time is now 15:21 hours. Today's date is December 20th, 2017. The time is approximately 7:20 a.m. My name is Sergeant Christine Molina. I'm assigned to the Office of Internal Affairs. I'm here at the Internal Affairs Office to obtain a statement from an officer or detective, Carlos Calzadilla, IBM 41795. He is a witness officer regarding Internal Affairs case number ADM 17-014. It's in reference to an allegation of misconduct which occurred on November 18th, 2017 at approximately 0130 hours. Also in the room is Detective Dixon Rodriguez, IBM number
5989.
He's also assigned to the Office of Internal Affairs. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
For the record, please state your full name, your IBM number, and your current assignment.
Carlos Calzadilla, 41795, robbery unit.
Okay. On November 18th, were you working? In the morning of November 18th?
That's correct.
Okay, where were you working? What was your assignment that day?
I was on off-duty, Miami Entertainment District.
Okay. Working specifically at any one location, or what were your duties that day?
My duty was off-duty. It's reference to the area of Miami Entertainment District is Clubs 11, Space, Heart, that area.
Okay, and what were you supposed to be doing that day?
It's an off-duty that is between hours of 2300 hours to 0700 hours.
Okay, and do you have any specific tasks that you're supposed to be engaging in there? In other words, do you look for traffic violations or anything like that?
No, you just make sure that the
security?
The security is
Okay.
just make sure that everything goes smooth.
Okay,
And any problem that the clubs have, they just bring it to us.
Okay, very good. Okay, so at some point you came in contact with the manager of Club 11.
That's correct.
Okay, tell me what happened with that.
He was with another individual that at that point he said that worked with us.
Okay, so tell me how you came in contact. Who was the employee of Club 11 that you spoke with or were there when he was speaking with officers?
Okay, the individual that got in contact with us is the head of security.
Okay.
Adam, I don't know his last name.
Adam, okay.
He came in contact with us and at that point he said, I have an individual that says that is a police officer and he works with you guys.
Okay, what did he tell you?
The individual was next to him and he pointed at him. He said, this individual worked with you guys. I don't know him by name, but I recognize his face that I've seen in the department.
Okay.
And I said, yes, I've seen him. And at that point, he shows a clear baggie with some type of powder inside.
Some type of what?
Powder, like...
okay, describe the powder.
It's a white powder inside.
Okay, and based on your experience as a police officer, what did it appear to be?
It appeared to be suspected cocaine.
Okay. What did Adam tell you? First, describe Adam for me.
He's 5'11", heavy-set individual, bald, and white.
White male?
White male.
Okay. And you said you know him as the manager, the security manager?
Yes,
Is that
he's
correct?
the head of security.
Okay, so you've spoken with him before in the past?
Yes.
Okay.
We deal with him when we work out.
Okay, very good. So he shows you this baggie of what appears to be suspected cocaine.
That's correct.
What is the conversation, or what does he tell you?
He said that the individual that was with him, that he brought outside, was inside, I guess, consuming this powder.
Okay, do you remember his exact words?
I don't remember his exact word, but it was some. It's in that area that he's consuming inside. That's
Okay.
what we got outside.
Okay, did he tell you how he knew that he was consuming this powder?
I guess he didn't see it, but some of his employees saw him and brought it to his attention, and that's why he put it outside.
Okay, so did he tell you any conversation that he had with this individual? At this point, do you know who this officer is, or this person that he brought out?
I don't know his name. I know that I've seen him before.
Okay, so do you know his name now? At that point?
I
Okay.
know now.
What's his name?
I think last name is Santos.
Santos. Okay, so Officer Santos. So he tells you that it was brought to his attention that Officer Santos was somehow doing this powder cocaine.
Yes.
So he brought him outside. What does he tell you after that? Does he tell you anything else?
No, he didn't say anything else.
Okay. Did you have a conversation with the officer?
No.
Did you ask him his name?
No, I didn't ask his name.
Okay. Did you recognize him at that point?
Yes.
Okay.
But not by his name, by his name, by his face.
By his face. Okay. So at that point, did you ask him anything?
No, at that point I didn't ask him.
Did you ask him where he worked, or if he was still working anywhere?
Yes, I did. I did ask him if he's still working, because I remember that he was working Flagami. And I asked him, you still working Flagami? He said yes.
Okay. So, had you worked with him before, or just seen him in passing, or how was it that you knew he worked in Flagami?
I know that I work Flagami because I know people in Flagami.
Okay.
And I guess by roll up on one call or something.
Okay.
I see
So just in passing?
Yes.
Okay. Had you ever had a conversation with him before?
No.
Okay. Who else was with you?
Working?
Mm-hmm. Who else was with you working that heard this conversation or observed the same thing that you did there?
Okay. We were all Sergeant Vasquez,
Do you know his first name?
Matthew,
Okay.
Officer Louis Cobb, and Officer Abad Jr.
And you were all working the same detail?
That's correct.
Did you hear Officer Santos make any comments?
No.
Did you hear anybody question him regarding anything? Either was he a police officer or regarding anything that transpired at the scene?
No.
Did anybody, either you, Sergeant Vasquez, Officer Cow, or Officer Abad, did you or any of them ask him anything pertaining to what the allegation was made, or the allegation made by Adam?
Not that I remember.
Okay. When he showed, who was Adam speaking to specifically? Anybody in particular?
No, we were all together there. All four of us were right there.
Okay. So he brings to your attention that Officer Santos was using this suspected cocaine. How does he show it to you? Do you remember where he
had it in his hand.
Okay.
And he just showed it to us like this.
Do you remember which hand?
Yeah, right in the, I believe it was right hand.
Right hand. Okay. And so he tells you this. Who does he give that cocaine to?
He put it in we brought out like a property clear.
Wait.
I'm sorry. Bad brought that from his car, and he put it in the car. And inside the plastic property bag.
Okay.
And he put it in his car until.
So it was an evidence bag that Officer Abad retrieved?
Yes.
Do you know if he...
No, we didn't touch it.
Okay, so it was put in the
Put it
evidence
in
bag?
from
Do you remember what else was put in the evidence bag?
I don't know if it's the same bag, but his property, the officer property, whatever he had, phone, I believe, or wallet.
Okay. And then what happened after that?
Well, after that, sergeants asked us to put it in the back seat of the car, and he contacted the lieutenant.
Okay. Who placed him in the back seat of the car? Do you recall?
Don't recall, but I was there, so...
Did you put your hands on him specifically?
Yeah, we brought it down really quick.
Do you remember who patted him down?
I was there, I patted him down.
You patted him down. You physically patted him? If you don't recall, it's fine.
I don't know. I don't
Say you don't
remember.
recall.
Yeah, I
okay.
don't recall.
Okay, that's fine. So he was placed in the back seat of whose vehicle? Abad's vehicle.
Abad vehicle.
And you said he was patted down. Did you guys find anything else on him?
No.
Okay. Other than personal belongings?
Yeah, other than personal belongings, no.
Okay. Was he given any instruction to Officer Santos?
No, not specific. Just to wait until we would just figure it out what was the next step.
Okay. Was he handcuffed?
No.
Did he make any comments or requests to you at that time?
No whatsoever.
Okay. So from the time that he was placed in the car and Officer Abad's car, was he removed from that vehicle at any point?
No.
By you guys?
No, until he was removed by the internal affair detective.
Okay. That was me.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he make any requests to you guys while at the scene, while he was in the backseat of the car?
No.
Did anyone come up and talk to him?
I believe when Lieutenant arrived, he just had a brief conversation with him, but we don't know what was.
Okay, so you didn't hear anything that... Do you know who the lieutenant was?
Lieutenant Cooper.
Did Lieutenant Cooper say anything to you guys after he had this conversation with Officer Santos? Okay. Do you know what Lieutenant Cooper did after that, after he had the conversation?
I believe he called the stop duty.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, so no, you're not aware of any other conversations that anyone may have had with Officer Santos?
No.
The evidence bag, what happened to the evidence bag after the items were placed in it?
Officer Abad put it in his car and until I believe was given it to you.
Okay. And do you recall where he placed that bag? Did you see him place it?
I think he was put in the front dash.
Okay. So the front of his police car.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
No, I'm good. He didn't eat or drink anything while he was there, right?
No.
Okay. And you guys took his phone, so he didn't make any phone calls?
He didn't make no phone calls. No, we took his phone. Everything was in the bag.
Okay. Did anybody came and tried to speak to him besides Lieutenant Cooper? Any friends or any other policemen came to the car and tried to speak to him?
No friend, nobody.
Nobody, okay.
Okay. Have you understood all of my questions?
Yes.
Has everything that you told me today been the truth?
Yes.
And have you been treated fairly?
Yes.
Okay. As you know, this is an ongoing investigation, so you're not to discuss it. Per state statute, you're not allowed to discuss it with anybody else. That will end the statement. The time is 07:33 hours. Okay, we're back on tape. The time is 7:41. Did we have any conversation regarding the case from the time that we ended the last statement to this time?
No.
Okay, so you're back under oath, and what I wanted to ask you was when Adam came up to you, or the group of you, or called you over, and how did that happen? Were you guys standing there and he came out and brought him to you? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Or did he call you over?
No, he brought it to us. He was standing outside and he came outside with Officer Santos.
And where were you guys standing?
By our cars.
Okay, and where were the cars parked?
On the street, Miami Court.
Okay, and what entrance is that near? Entrance or exit?
It's an exit of the club.
And the exit comes out to Miami Court in what?
On 11.
Okay. So he brings him over to you guys. Do you observe anything on Officer Santos?
I didn't.
Okay. Are you aware that somebody else did?
I heard that the Sergeant Vasquez, I think it did.
Okay, and how did you hear that? And how did you hear? What did you hear?
I think Sergeant told him so. I don't know if it was a lieutenant. I think when the lieutenant arrived, I think it was the lieutenant or somebody else. He was saying that he observed something on Sergeant and Officer Santos.
Okay, and what was it that he observed?
Like some type of powder, white powder in his nose.
On his nose.
residue, I guess.
Okay, and so you believe that it was Lieutenant Cooper that Sergeant Vasquez told that to?
I believe so.
Okay, and do you remember how you heard that conversation or how you heard about it?
I don't want to say how, but I know that he's mentioned something that it looks like Officer Santos has some type of residue in it.
So you actually heard Sergeant Vasquez say that? Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. Okay, that'll end the statement. Thank you. The time is approximately 7:43 hours.